Chapter 4 Bunny Breakdown and Glitterhoof's Desperate Spark. The swamp was quiet, not silent, but muffled, like grief in a room where nobody knows what to say. The kind of quiet that doesn't soothe, but invites something deeper to emerge. Soft, aching, unglittered truth. The fog hung low, like a sleepy memory draped across time. Glitter drifted down gently from the misty sky, like radioactive snow, settling softly on moss and regret. Each flake shimmered for a moment before sinking into silence. The air held its breath, suspended in the hush of something not yet healed, not yet broken, just unraveling. Even the trees, those ancient, sighing sentinels of soggy secrets, seemed to droop their branches in reverent sympathy. They too had seen breakdowns before. They remembered. The battlefield, if you could call it that, had become a cradle of stillness, a gentle pause in a place that had forgotten how to rest. Every stone, every leaf, every shimmer of moss seemed to be listening. Listening not with ears, but with quiet expectation. Like the swamp itself was waiting for someone to speak a truth that had been swallowed long ago. The delusion bunnies, once bouncing and beaming, now sat curled or sprawled in small heaps. Some hugged their own trembling paws, as if discovering for the first time that they could hold themselves. Others rocked softly, staring into the middle distance where old affirmations used to live. Their faces reflected the sky, heavy with feeling and strangely luminous. A few blinked with the slow disbelief of those just waking from a years-long nap of forced happiness. One had buried itself entirely under a pile of shredded stickers that used to read things like "Good vibes only" and "Manifest it." The words were faded now, the paper damp, the magic gone. Another tried to re-stick a smiley face sticker to its forehead, but the adhesive had dissolved. It clung for a moment, but then it fell. A few simply breathed. Just that. Just breath. Like it was a new language they were still learning. One bunny inhaled so deeply that a leaf trembled beside them, as if in agreement. Another sat perfectly still, except for the occasional quiver of a whisker, like a question trying to form. One whispered their name into the moss, just to see if it would echo. It did, faintly, like a ghost that wasn't ready to leave. Others wept into crumpled affirmation cards. The slogans had worn off, but the feelings had just begun to arrive. No one told them that healing feels like unraveling, and that the unraveling is sacred, even when it stains your fur. Especially then. One bunny held up a torn card that read, "I am enough," and asked, "Still?" One small bunny, Sparkleshell, nested into Doompaw's side. "I thought if I smiled hard enough, the sadness would go away." Doompaws, always a reluctant participant in tenderness, let out a slow sigh, the kind of sigh that had been aged in grief in moss, the kind of sigh that has its own echo. "You can't outsmile trauma, sweetheart, not even with glitter." A pause, then quieter. "Also, you're soaking my despair fur." Nearby, One bunny tried to tape their affirmation card back together. The tape wouldn't stick. The bunny stared at it, then without saying a word, let it go. Another buried their head in a puddle of moss, as if hoping dreams could root themselves there. One more tried to refluff their emotional support pom-pom, but the sparkle had gone soggy. Someone sniffed loudly into a motivational sock. Another just laid on their side and stared at the sky, silently mouthing the word, "Why?" Elsewhere, beneath the drowsy canopy of mist and cold emotion, Gremlin had assembled 5 bunnies on a soft circle of therapy moss. The moss itself glowed faintly. Warmed by the weight of shared sorrow, it squelched comfortingly when they shifted their weight. One bunny wriggled until the moss sighed. Another arranged small pebbles in a line that spelled maybe. Each held a tiny mug. Each mug read, "Not fine, and that's fine." Some mugs were trembling. One had been bitten. One was clutched so tightly it squeaked. One bunny just stared into theirs, watching the steam rise like forgotten memories trying to leave the body. Another had filled theirs with tiny shards of glitter. It wasn't drinkable, but it felt like control. One added a single tear and whispered, "Now it tastes like me." Gremlin paced. Her spoon wand swung like a tiny emotional scepter. She spoke like she was casting a spell made of sarcasm and sincerity, equal parts vinegar and velvet. Her voice carried the weight of someone who'd read every self-help book and screamed into each one. "You're not broken," she announced with theatrical flair. "You're just emotionally constipated. You've been clenching your feelings like a bunny trying not to fart in a yoga class. Let it out." A pause. The moss rustled. One bunny sneezed. Another burped and gently apologized. The swamp murmured, amused, somewhere in the fog. A self-help book burst into damp flames of irrelevance. A glitter pen exploded with a soft poof. A sticker rolled away slowly, caught in the breeze of release. A bunny named Twinkleton raised a paw. Shaky, honest, brave in the softest way possible. "I don't know who I am without my motivational stickers." Sassburn crouched beside him. Her candle, shaped like a shattered glitter bomb, flickered. Gentle light, gentle voice. "Then maybe stop being a sticker and start being a story. Stories have chapters. Stickers just peel." The mist held its breath. Even the swamp trees leaned in. The fog grew warmer. Somewhere in the distance, a fern wilted sympathetically. A single mushroom sighed. A fog moth landed on Sassburn's tail and nodded. Another bunny whispered, "I think I just felt something." From a distance, Melon Kitty conjured a small rain cloud. It looked like a comma, suspended pause, tender interruption. "That's grief breathing," she murmured. "Let it finish the sentence." Another bunny gently tore their sticker off, pressed it into the moss, and watched as it dissolved like sugar in tea. A tiny gasp followed, as if even fear had softened. One bunny whispered into the moss, "I miss who I pretended to be." Zzz! A sudden crackle. A ripple and static through the fog. It danced over puddles and nerves, like the swamp's nervous system twitching awake. The CareCats turned as one. There he is. There he was, under a saggy rainbow, tangled in old fairy lights, horn grinding against a buzzing car battery, Glitterhoof, his mane frazzled, his eyes wild, his voice high with desperation and shimmer, his hooves caked in motivational mud, his aura glitching between pink and panic. I will get my glow back. He stomped, slipped, screamed. Come on! He flung glitter at the puddle, whispered affirmations into his reflection, licked a copper wire, cried into the fog, and yelled at a motivational quote he tattooed on his ankle. My mane is a lifestyle. The puddle rippled into the shape of a disappointed therapist. Glitterhoof flinched, then yelled, Don't judge me, water! Even catatonic, unmoving in his mushroom spoke. He's charging his toxic positivity. Back at the moss circle, the delusion bunnies began to soften. Tiny sobs became whispers. Whispers became breaths. Breaths became lullabies shared between frightened hearts. The moss between them pulsed, slow, alive, receiving. It didn't need to fix anything. It just held space. It witnessed. It welcomed. Sulk Shadow offered a weighted blanket made from forgotten dreams and soft dread. One bunny scribbled in a journal with a twig dipped in ash. Another was building a sadness shrine from broken affirmation cards, moss, and candy wrappers from emotional breakthroughs. Someone added a leaf shaped like a heart. Another placed a cracked mirror. One bunny simply placed a single hair from their tail. A final bunny sat beside it and whispered apologies to no one, then hummed a lullaby they didn't know that they knew. Gloompurd gently placed a wilted flower atop it. Grief is art, she said. The bunny nodded. A tear soaked the moss. The moss did not resist. It absorbed and hummed, and somewhere a song began to form. A song made of tears and softness and moss. It had no words, just warmth. Sparkleshell looked up again, eyes glassy, voice quiet. So, what now? Doompaw's ever-reluctant guide said, Now you feel, and when you can't, come find us. We make good moss cocoa. Sometimes there are sprinkles, sometimes just silence. Both are medicine. Sassburn's voice joined, warm and firm. We're not here to fix you. We're here to sit in the dark with you until your eyes adjust. And if they don't, we'll hand you a glowworm or set something on fire, whichever works. Or both. And then, Glitterhoof sparked one last time. A glittery fizz. A twitch. A fall. The lights flickered. A firefly blinked once, twice, and flew away. A rainbow hiccuped and vanished. His horn smoked softly. He collapsed. Mane dimmed, not just dulled. Gone. Like joy at a tax seminar. Like belief after a very bad yoga retreat. Like sparkle after heartbreak. Like illusion after truth. A single tear slipped down his cheek, raw, honest, salt water. No glitter, no shimmer, just real. The swamp stilled. Even the frogs forgot to sigh. A hush settled like a memory returning home. Somewhere, even the wind bowed its head. And from her comfort nest of checklists and laminated boundaries, Anxiety whispered, "He's finally starting to feel." The CareCats didn't speak. Not even Mortikitten. They just nodded, slowly, quietly, together. Even Sassburn's tail stilled. Gloomper closed her eyes. Catatonic blinked. Once. And for once, even the glitter didn't dare sparkle. Good night, little listener. The swamp is still, and you are safe here.